going, everyone? Welcome back to this week's episode of the Single Family Living Podcast in partnership with the University of Michigan Flint Occupational Therapy Program. So this week, the episode is going to focus on time management skills and how to make the best use out of your time. So this week's episode is going to focus on time management strategies as well as resources that you can use in your life that will help you with your schedule and time management skills. So you may be asking, why do occupational therapists care about time management? So a little quick recap. If you remember our previous videos, we discussed that occupations are anything that you need and want to do in your daily life. So if there's something that's preventing you from accomplishing all those things that you need to do, it is our job as occupational therapists to help figure out a way that we can get you back into doing the things that you need and want to do. So this segues into time management. If you're not the greatest at managing your time, you may find that you don't have enough hours in the day to get everything that you want to get done. This can include anything from homework to working, cooking meals, spending time with family and friends, anything you can think of, really. So let's jump right into it. So the way this video is going to work, we're going to break it down into general time management skills, and then we're going to talk about some resources that you can use, both physical, non-digital, as I like to call them, and then digital resource options as well. All right, so before we get into our tips, I want you to remember that no one is perfect. Even with a well-planned schedule, life happens, and sometimes things will not get done that you anticipated to get done. This is perfectly okay. It's all part of you just working on your time management skills. Do not get discouraged. All right, so into tip number one. Number one, write down a list of things that you want to accomplish and need to get done. This is something that I do, and I do it the night before, but a lot of people like doing it in their morning routine the day of as well. So those are two options. You can take 10 minutes before bed to write down what your plan is for the next day, or you can do it in the morning as you plan out the day. Something like an agenda or a daily planner is perfect for this. It helps organize your thoughts and keep them all in one place, or even just a notebook, whiteboard, or if you want to use digital, your laptop, phone, things like that. Then if you want to go the extra mile in this, try creating daily, weekly, and even monthly goals. By keeping tabs of what you need to get done a week from now, a month from now, you can better plan your days and spread out your workload so that you aren't overwhelmed with everything all at once. Tip number two, decide what things need to be a priority and what things can wait. So after you write down what you need to get done, daily, weekly, monthly, you need to prioritize these things. One way you can do this to help visualize it is try color coding your tasks so that you give a certain color more priority over a different one, such as red. If you make something red, it sticks out, it's easier to see, you know that you need to get this done first before you can move on to the other things. Other things you can use are highlighters to highlight, maybe colored sticky notes if you prefer that. The options are really endless. You just need to find a system that works for you and keep at it. So tip number three, do not multitask. A study from Stanford University found that regular multitasking also makes it harder for people to focus on a single task. And more importantly, it allows goal-irrelevant information to compete with goal-relevant information. All right, so what does that mean? In other words, by multitasking, it makes you less effective when multitasking, less effective when not multitasking, and less effective at prioritizing to achieve your goals. So the message from this tip is focus on one thing at a time before moving on to the next. But listening to soft, relaxing music while you work is not considered multitasking and can even make you more productive if you use it properly. So number 4, understand your productivity times. So this one's pretty straightforward. If you're a morning person, schedule your day so you have a bigger workload towards the morning. And if you're a night owl like I am, plan your heavier work towards the evening and later towards the day. You know when you're the most alert, when you have the most focus, so design your schedule if you can around those times. Number 5, very straightforward, remove distractions. Again, this is pretty straightforward. Minimize the number of distractions around you and you can focus on the task at hand more easily. A simple tip when working on something is to put your phone on silent and maybe put it out of your view to not distract you. Tip number 6 is use a timer. Setting a timer can be an efficient way to remind you of breaks, set time limits, and even make you more productive. Another great use of a timer is setting time constraints for specific tasks. So when you give yourself a set amount of time to complete something, you push yourself to finish that task before you reach the deadline of your time limit. And you end up accomplishing more work this way. All right, and finally, tip number 7 is to split up big projects. So sometimes when writing out your goals and tasks, like we mentioned earlier, you may have one goal that requires a lot of time and can seem super overwhelming. So the key here is to try and break this huge project up into smaller tasks that are more easily accomplished. Breaking a big task into smaller mini tasks helps in 2 ways. First, it makes the huge project seem a lot more doable and less overwhelming. And 2 is when you break it down into smaller parts, you feel a sense of accomplishment every time you finish one little part of it. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're done with the whole thing. Okay, so now that we got those general tips covered, let's talk about some resources. So we're going to talk about analog and digital. Analog just means non-digital, things like paper and pencil, just physical things like that. So let's first talk about analog or non-digital resources. What are some benefits of using analog versus digital options? Well, analog is accessible to everyone. You just need a paper and pencil. Some people may not have access to smartphones or internet, but almost anyone can get a paper and pencil. Also, analog is less distracting than a digital option. If using a digital option like an app on your phone, the possibility of trying to find the app on your phone and then seeing a notification from Facebook or something and getting distracted is a lot more likely than just writing down on paper and pencil. And finally, analog is more customizable. Like I talked about earlier, it's all about developing your own system, a system that works for you. You can be as creative as you want and do whatever you want, basically. You can choose what works for you. Maybe it's a planner/agenda, maybe it's sticky notes, just post it up on your fridge or on your walls or however you want to do it. Just find what works for you. And finally, it is well researched and documented that writing down things physically on paper helps to retain and reinforce the information that you wrote down compared to typing or using your phone. Okay, so now that we've discussed the benefits of analog, let's flip it and talk about the digital. So, what are the benefits of a digital option for time management? Well, you can easily transfer your information between devices. It helps you keep track of tasks, and you can share with others in your family or friends if you want instantly with the click of a button. You can also edit this list or management at any time. You just need your phone on you. So let's talk about some cool apps that can help you with time management. All right, so the first app I want to tell you guys about is called Forest. So as we talked about earlier in the video, setting a timer and reducing distractions is vital for good time management, and this app helps with just that. So with the Forest app, you can block out other distracting things on your phone, such as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and it also serves as a 30-minute timer. So instead of scrolling on your phone, this tool makes you a virtual plant seed in the forest, and then you watch it grow into a full-grown tree within 30 minutes. If you try to click out of the app into something like Instagram or Facebook, then the tree will wither and die immediately. So this is just a fun little simple app that makes being productive fun and engaging. It's available on iOS and Android, and it's completely free. All right, so the next app is called Remember the Milk. Remember the Milk is an online time management app and management tool that allows you to create and organize colorful lists so you don't forget the milk the next time you go grocery shopping. With this app, you can add tasks, break them down into subtasks, and add tags to enhance clarity. Another great feature of this app is that it allows you to connect to other apps like Google Calendar, Gmail, and Outlook, and receive reminders via email, Twitter, or text. This app is also available on iOS, Android, and BlackBerry. All right, and last but not least, we have Loop. Loop is a mobile habit tracking app that teaches you how to develop good habits. So for instance, this app lets you pick a habit and then helps you sustain it to reach your goals. With this app, you can pick a habit and then set a time that you want to tackle it each day and have a reminder set for that time of day. Unfortunately, this app is only available on Android, but it is completely free.